One of my favorite things, seeing these two teams play the first time, I was like, oh man, Sayaplayer versus Yay. This is going to be great. And we even get like a different version of that here when Net gets to go versus Yay. But Sayaplayer still on that jet, just like you said. And it may be a way they can just focus on this strategy where they put a demanding amount of pressure on you. They love to control the game. And their star power allows them to control that objective. But Victor here.
Great opening trade. Marved can rotate back over. You saw them looking for a stack to take control of yellow, and that still will occur for OpTic defensively. And honestly speaking, for the guard, your only option is to try to reflex back, but they're doing it in a very strange way where they're rotating through the defensive spawn. So Ye is by himself, and I think he's aware of this. Sneaking forward, trying to put himself in an untradeable position. Finds one, but not the second. The guard get possession of the A site.
Enough for the communication that the rotation can happen from B, the 1-2 split pinch here. It's like they're going to take their time. Might just drop the wall as FNF and crashies come in here. Give themselves a better view on the angles once they're in position. This is tight, but JonahP and Trent could pull this off. We've seen it before.
Yeah, they have to hit this opening gunfight no matter where it comes from, because this full post plant set up towards the offensive spawn is completely neutralized. Now the recon comes through. That'll, of course, open up a lot of space. Up, though, on top of the ropes. Trent deals with the first, gets a little bit of damage over to FNS, but the problem was there were too many numbers, including, most importantly, Marved in the flank. OpTic takes the pistol.
What a sick... I don't have a drone. I will be drone. Just grabs onto rope and slowly goes into sight. That's so awesome. What a way to play that one. And just get a little bit of visual, like, sentry back in your game. Oh, my gosh. They pull back off, swamp the first target. Are able to take the second as Marv comes in from the side. What a fun run from OpTic there to get that retake, and a nice little shuffle from guard to get some plant money down and shift. They're going into the bank.
This is something that both teams we've seen do in the past. It's just, how appropriate is it that we're seeing it do it versus one another? Last map, it was OpTic who was forced to kind of, well, not forced, but chose to go into the elective first purchase on the second round, and now the guard trying to pull a curveball of their own. Yay with the headhunter. Looking at where it could be a number of different guard members, but as the Aldrin comes through, they'll forfeit these angles initially through green. Poison Cloud comes out. Sayaplayer looking to spam it. Marved is still holding his ground for first point of contact.
Quite a few ticked on that 0.2. We just saw come from that kitchen area. Trades back and forth, and it's a slaughter already.
Oh, what a shot from Sayaplayer on the corner. Marv backpedaling. Could not respond. That's going to lead to a quick plant. And for the side of OpTic, FNS and Victor choosing to play this one a bit split. Victor playing off the flank. FNS looking to open up space through mid, but for the guard, it's a full stack in and around yellow. And yeah, the trademark will give away the spot. The flash peek coming through. Not going to get gifted anything here. And now it kind of, the baton passes over to FNS, who will now have to try to open up space for his teammate to work with. And, well, he walks right into Sayaplayer waiting for him. Just down to Victor. 1v4. And, well, the gamble stack of trying to play into the second round bonus essentially pans out for the guard.
Seems like the spike plan is just about all they needed. They run it up green. Like, just, that was full bore. Once they're, even they lost the drone. Still wanted it, pushed it right through in. Sayaplayer over the shoulder was firing through the Marshall, which he actually drops Respector here. So it seems like they may actually want to keep that pressure together in a death ball. They focus towards A. But what a round to pick up there.
Yeah.
They need to take the momentum back from OpTic here after map 1.
And the craziest thing about that statement in particular is, I think for those that were really in tune watching the winners finals, OpTic controlled tempo and pace from start to finish. They were plus 16 in opening first blood engagements. That has not been the case at all. The guard has significantly adapted their play style. But will they adapt to this? Full stack around the back. Jonah's only good for one. And as the guard commit forward, there very well may be an opportunity here for OpTic to kind of contain the guard inside the site, especially now that net will also drop.
These little trades. You got Ye all the way back still as you see Victor pushing up. They're trying to get every way to take any of the damage or weapons away from guard here as they encroach onto the site. It's patient play by FNS trying to give calls in here, but the rest of the team's going to be coming from Maze now as FNS goes down.
I love this call from the guard, setting up their post plant in the defensive spawn, essentially. 0 point comes out, but Victor not going to get a lot of information as far as, is that high, is that low? How do I deal with this with my flashes and fragments? Once again, over the top. It's going to be crashies through the ropes. Sayaplayer responding to the hit, though, with the double means it's just down to crashies for the 1v2. Just a ghost in hand, and as he falls, he will find Sayaplayer waiting for him. The guard go up 2-1.
And I like the call you made there, Schiff. The way they pushed through, took a bit more space into spawn. Guard have recognized over the past few rounds, OpTic's way to get back to A is to send the majority of their players through that A main portion of the attacker's side. And then they have somebody trickle in, as FNS did, towards the spawn side. So rightly played there by Guard. Quick identification of what's been happening on the defensive rotations there. And we'll see what happens here for possible mid-round touch and go. Is the Guard really want to see what's going to happen on this first Gud round? Tour de Force coming out for Ye.
Get out of my way.
And the response, I was going to say, is this a round that Sayaplayer wants to go to the knives? Absolutely going to be the case. Also has the Spectre in the back pocket in case things go wrong. Victor doesn't like his position, will flash himself around and then the 0 point to confirm information. And OpTic, who do have a lot of presence through middle, none of it is up towards kitchen. And Net will take a double as the Guard completely win this opening battle. And then even further that point, as crashies can only do so much. The knives out, though, will miss. And crashies will fight this back to a 2v2 somehow.
Oh, my word. And a big investment here by Guard on this round to continue to push OpTic off of this gun round back into an eco. And OpTic say no. One last.
So
Trent's
good.
alive.
So good from crashies and Marved. Dart comes out. Opportunity for Trent. Finds the timing off of that. Turns this to a 1v1. Does he expect the quick reach out from Marved, though? No. And OpTic, like you mentioned, deny. And that takes us to an even 2-2 into round 5, where, again, the economy is going to be all over the place.
Oh, my God. The crashies and Sayaplayer dance right here above Marved, where we see that had a big effect on the round. For that to go into the railing there and crashies to live, OpTic dodge a big bullet. And like I said, get away with dodging that ultimate from Sayaplayer. They are under gun round again. This is the kind of stuff we need to look at from round to round, though.
Yeah.
Here on the side, it's tour de force for Nat as we're trading ultimates.
You want to play? Let's play.
Deny the early ultimate orb with the shock dart, and then try to take your high ground positions. OpTic looking to respond to this, throwing out a recon dart and an Aldrin of their own. And this is what I was worried about, is that scope v scope battle, whether it's operator or tour de force, doesn't make much of a difference. Net was not good in the 1v1 with Ye, and so far, tilt the advantage once again to Ye on the opening first blood.
Ooh, already to Snowman. JonahP with the quick move. Hunter's Fury went towards A, so they've committed a lot, hoping to pull the members of OpTic over, and they lost a really big key point of the player in JonahP with that first kill.
Using the from the shadows, trying to cut off the defensive rotations, and oh boy, goes from bad to worse. Victor just ADS bursting down the Guard. Valyn, good luck, have fun. Not much you could do there. Prime gaming flawless for OpTic in the 5th.
Oh my gosh. Victor marking his territory with the Bulldog as he just gets back into the site, destroys the ultimate. That's 2 rounds in a row that we saw the ultimate focus. Bladestorm here to kitchen gets taken down. They try to play off of JonahP just with movement, being ahead of the game. Victor shuts it down. 3K on the Bulldog there, even on the low buy. So they're starting to stack up econ. And this is kind of what we saw from OpTic at the end of Ascent, is just this read on each play. Not really a step behind, but a step ahead into how to react.
Yeah, and that was something that every team through playoffs has had a problem with when it comes to OpTic. Yeah. How do you out-tempo these guys? Because as soon as they hit the brakes, then you've got to find a way to deal with Ye. It's just, it literally is a war on 2 fronts. Even worse now, Reveal comes out with Sayaplayer just lurking through mid, hoping for maybe some advanced positions, but that gets instantly taken away, and OpTic a massive advantage, as even behind that, they also take down Nat, leaving 0 ground for the Guard to work with.
And I kind of said that about them when they played the Guard the first time. I was like, this is very pre-OpTic with Caboose on the squad, blast hacking forward, doing everything, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a form of style that they've played before, but not this core of the team. And the way that they can adapt in and out of that, it seems like this patch is their bread and butter right now, as we see a ridiculous finish up there from FNS, who's seems to have an extended birthday buff now.
Birthday week.
Maybe it's a month buff? Who knows? But yeah, picks the op back up there for Ye. You just, everything that could go right in these rounds for OpTic to switch it back over is going.
Yeah, this is a must-win round. I hate to say it in round 7, but for the Guard, This
Yeah.
is going to feel like a must-win round coming forward. And again, I still look at, can you find a way to counter-duel Ye? Whether it's just by taking a face-up gunfight or trying to force him off of an angle. Doesn't make a difference. Just put him in an unfavorable position. And as you see it, just kind of in the third-person point of view, Ye is pushing forward. The flash will come through, and Net very wisely will rendezvous away because he was, well, next up in case something were to have happened mid-map.
And I'd love to see what teams do shift when it does become like an important gun round. Like you said, a must-win. It's identified, obviously, from OpTic. And they pressure like that. They go hard. They're like, how can we go at the throat to actually make this gun round the worst gun round for our opponents it could be? Okay, yeah. Viper's Pit, push mid, get a little bit of info, use their util, right? If all of that works, the guard feel completely stopped on a round where they had that copium that they could get back in. The operator on Sayaplayer, that's all still alive. Where you're just seeing the type of pressure, the kind of mind games OpTic starting these rounds off with, and the importance each one matters. So 40 seconds left in this.
And that's the problem. You have 40 seconds left against a Hunter's Fury, a Null Command, and a potential Resurrection that's still on the table. Yeah. Here comes the full hit through Kitchen. Victor's right there. Hits the Null Command, but does actually not find a single thing.
Well, that's a lot of feet.
So Victor will fall. FNS taking care of the first blood once again on the second engagement. Turns around to clear out yellow. And how about FNS? The double coming through. 20 seconds on the clock, but the guard have gotten clearance to get a plant.
Ooh, bait and res.
They don't get Victor.
2v1.
Oh, boy. Danger now. Trent in the background, 0 pointed. Does still slip away.
Pretty
somehow,
healthy.
some way. Here's the plant toggle from Victor. 1v1 takes the first. The Victor hops off to secure the kill. And OpTic will sustain through. Even though the guard looked good playing through Kitchen for a moment, they get the res. And how important was that? Because Victor's the one to clean up the round.
Yeah, that is absolutely huge. And again, we see OpTic kind of, well, with no command, you can do it anyways, right? It is the res to retrieve back, but using each other to get in, get info, start the pressure, and the read on that, like, as soon as we heard guard start moving, no command just got ripped off by Victor. So the timing there on OpTic seemed that they have the read, they were moving correctly, and then we saw the re-res perfectly protected. It's just been too much. OpTic is able to kind of chip away at the guard a little too much every time before they're reaching these sites. Here, back to a gun round. Valyn does have his ultimate. They can pressure to a site here. Maybe it'll be down green at B. But it's been getting tougher and tougher for guard to now reach the site after a few plants in the first few rounds.
And this Poison Cloud is, again, going to get OpTic back without really revealing anything. They're trying to play forward with FNS and Marved together, but now they're actually a three-man stack. Oh, Net has actually seen FNS, though. How big could that possibly be? Paranoia comes through. Flash over the top, though, allows an opportunity maybe for FNS to fight back. Committed to this is Marved. And that's his danger. He's, again, finds himself backpedaling. Nothing to done there. And it leaves Ye kind of waiting for help from crashies. Hunter's Fury is going to get called in on this, and as the toxin screen goes down, so will Trent, and crashies follows with another. This will be a 2v4 retake.
That's perfect headhunter tags. He knows it. He's telling them the comms are there.
Oh, boy. From bad to worse again. The guard down to Jonah, and oh my goodness. There is not an answer for Ye anywhere on the map. Maybe not even in the region.
Oh, the way they just combining their comms to make this look so simple on the retakes, and the guard there as well, pressuring a few mistakes from the beginning out of OpTic. It looked like they completely swarmed the site. FNS fall, he just fell off a wall and dies. A guard run through that. They get another kill. They're looking great, and then everyone gets tagged by this Hunter's Fury that crashies says, hit him with a headhunter, and we're good to go. Last one obviously coming up with the operator there, but they're just putting so many nice things together on these retakes from the side of OpTic. It's no wonder they're able to be 6-2 right now.
So back to pistols. Trent actually catching FNS a bit off guard. Playing aggressively was FNS over through A, and the same thing he said here about Ye. So now Victor has to respond, and as he does, oh my goodness, the help is absolutely immaculate. Even the flash to kind of ice the cake for Victor. It's just down to Trent, and how about this read? Also knows that Trent was nearby, but as he sustains himself through the flash, the spike will be collected, and we elongate this 1v1. Spike down. Trent trying to back away. Point of contact is made. Okay, good save there from the guard. Not just the Red Bull clutch, but it may have been low enough economy to also count as a thrifty.
I literally had deja vu, just kind of in a different spot from the last round, right? The guard go fast. They create a bit of a mistake. They lost Ye right off the bat, and then OpTic somehow answer. Almost the way that OpTic has been for these last few rounds. This one, Trent gets his footing, plays it out perfectly, and a really big round for the guard to be able to get back. They're trying to punch right now at just the economy that OpTics have been able to amass these last few rounds here. So working at it, Sayaplayer back on the operator here. See if they can get something going as they spread the map out a little bit. You can see the spike is hovering towards A to start for the guard.
Another 2 to force as well for Ye. He's been charging this thing up as if he had it in his back pocket every round. Goodness me. And a 4-man defensive stack through the toxic screen of the guard over towards B. That's a lot of defensive clearance. But realistically speaking, the guard are going to be blank on what's happening on that side of the map because all 5 members are focused on what's happening at A except for Sayaplayer, who's trying to watch the flank.
Trademarks keep them safe, so guard can focus forward here. So we see the drone use sonar bolts down, and not much information is grabbed. This becomes somewhat of the dry peak section of it where it becomes tough, and the guard are going to stand tall for the first one on Ye.
Big first opening pick, shock darts, glow orbs, fragments, all of it being littered on towards this A site defensively from OpTic, but it does not find a tremendous amount of value. Spike not being planted yet, Valyn waiting for the next point of contact, and the recon bolt's been earned. That'll allow him a chance to get the Viper's Pit down safely. OpTic looking to challenge it quickly, but Trent guarding. Turns that into his 3rd straight elimination. They know Victor's playing nearby, and it's going to be the Sheriff from Trent. It's been good for him this far. Sees the barrel, takes that to the 4th. 1 away from getting the ace. Has a beat on Marv, tracking it down, chasing it down, and, well, respect will be given. No need to get frisky with this, just confirm the round.
Something that was pretty awesome there from Trent, besides his kills, was even within the smoke, through the X-ray, you could see his Sheriff placement was right on Victor. Like, even with that little elevation change of A side, like, that's why you can always expect frags like this from players like Trent. Their knowledge, their surroundings, their game sense of the situation just is paramount, and it comes to play so much. 6 to 4, guard find another one.
That's key. Not only because it gets you right back in the mix of this game, which was looking like it could be a runaway for a moment there, I think, for a lot of people that were watching. But it also, like you had mentioned, kind of neutralizes the economy, if not maybe swings it back into your favor. Would love to be able to go 6-6 on this half if you can, and OpTic are thinking, okay, let's make sure that doesn't happen. Timeout being called now.
So look, so OpTic did, so it was round 5 of last map, and they were able to take a few more in their favor. Have pistol rounds this time around. Ascent, they didn't, I put out a tweet, I was like, who needs pistol rounds? Not OpTic to take it. But this time, obviously, they get themselves a little bit. But yeah, seeing what the guard has been doing the past few rounds has basically been speed. Like, just inject the players over the enemy line, keep that going. And we've seen that through mid. We saw it go down green, long B. And we saw a little bit of it end there on A. That one was a bit different from the guard. I think that round tested OpTic a bit, and both teams got a good idea of kind of where the focus of the game is going, because all the sonar bolts and detection was used, and they sit in sight, and then they're just like, all right, we'll take the 5v5. And that's kind of what we come down to at this point. Guns on both sides again. OpTic coming out of their timeout. Operator for Ye, full util. The only thing Victor really has to deal with there is the Spectre and his light.
I'm curious to see how OpTic are going to want to try to finesse and maybe adapt in these first points of contacts on the extremities of the map in particular, because, you know, Victor's been fine largely through kitchen. He'll be hindered a touch here as the shock dart actually does connect onto him, but it's marginal damage at best. Ye looking for a peek and maybe a rendezvous back if needed. Marv would need help to get out of this position, though. He is still holding onto his wall, so there's that to consider. Garter taking a patient approach here. Really, Riv, it's just kind of feeling each other out.
Yeah, it's like last round without firing into the site real quick. Like a good op shot there to start off. 0 point kind of detected quite a bit of what was happening on the side of the guard for OpTic. So for them to be able to finalize a kill kind of confirms that 0 point had more around it. And the rotation so far is right. This is the second one we see from JonahP. That just goes in for info, and it looks like that may be the go button for this A attack.
Sure seems that way. Barrier orb will fade. Fragment clears out the L-turn. OpTic are here with numbers and trying to contest this plant if they so choose to, and they do choose to, but the problem is none of the kills come through, leaving crashies to wait for help as the guard take a 4v3 to a post plant, and how about it? Crashies looking for a timing, actually gets punished, and as Marved will try to have to re-clear, there's a lot to be done here. And for the guard, you've got post plant positions all over the place. A couple of members up close, you still have JonahP playing deep. Wall that's been saved will get called here as Marved tries to make a step forward. And on the opposite side, Ye's trying to split this up, and the problem is no one really cleared bottom of the rafters. And with that, the high-low setup from the guard will successfully get them into 5.
Shift, it kind of feels like guard took a step back from trying to play a game around OpTic, and now guard's playing their game. Back
Agreed.
to fragging, back to just getting into these open kind of, some of them Ferrari peaks, others obviously calculated jiggles, but they're flowing a lot better together. And they're not getting picked off by OpTic. They're not getting swarmed by OpTic once they're finding a post plant. And definitely finding their flow. It took them a little bit, but they easily could bring this to a 6-6 on the guard side.
And the efficiency on the attack towards A has been incrementally better than it was at the beginning of this this first half. This time it's trademarks to guard any forward push through from OpTic defensively, which they are. Viper's Pit to stall out at A. And as Ye watches through the mid-map, there's an opportunity, or maybe crashies and Victor can come around the side. It only results in a 1-for-1, and this actually causes the guard to try to back up. They know the resurrection is here, and they're able to deny it. 2 good eliminations for the guard as they go into now a 4v3 situation.
Smoke towards mid to divide up the map. He's going to push through it. Obviously he does. Good audio possibly be grabbed from there as he hears him go B long. The rotation from Marved is going to be the late one. I think they give the site here. Go for a pre-take. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, net being down means that these trademarks are going to do nothing. So OpTic splitting their defense up just a touch. The problem here, though, is this toxic screen. And as it falls, the guard tally up 2, leaving Marved by himself. And Trent watches the flank so avidly. A 6-6 half. What a correction from the guard, tying us up once again in map 2. We'll swap the sides. Be back after the halftime break. Heck of a response from the guard on their map selection brings us back to level footing once again. Riv 6-6 the tally, and now it's OpTic on the attack.
The guard on that side, like parry, thrust, good, nice, perfect. Coming back on some rounds. They're doing exactly what they needed to there, and really calling upon everybody. You know, a few of the things they tried early, they're still going for the Omen ultimates. They gave them the info and confidence to push in, where earlier it seemed like it was a little divided in how they would have played it. And I was going to say, is that as fast as I think it is, but nobody really moved up with the util. We start off the second half here in an important map, too. Because I think we heard the analyst desk say if IceBox goes the way of OpTic, I think the series goes the way of OpTic, if I'm correct. Could be a possibility.
I think probability would definitely back that point up. And how about this? The guard, delay hit through mid. There are trademarks to navigate here, so they'll smoke the first. Toxic screen to make life a little bit more difficult for OpTic as they try to move over through green. And the timing here for the guard is really solid. Another smoke will come through. They're just going to avoid past this once again. And nobody from OpTic is turned to even respond to this. So the first opening shots will connect. And now, well, the rue's up. It's all up to OpTic. Can they hold their ground? And, well, we're getting our answer very quickly to the question. Unless crashies could do something literally Herculean, which don't put it past them, you would think that the guard have the full strum they want. And there it is.
What a round. And I'm pretty sure OpTic as well, with the trademark mid, continue to think to themselves, well, we have Victor pushing A. He just heard someone leave A. We'll see what guard is trying to formulate on defense. And it's like, but really, this is what's happening. And on the other side, guard had such a nice push to start off there. I like when teams put the game in their hands in pistol round. They put something on the platter. They're the ones that force it, and the guard go for a really nice push onto enemy territory to start off our second half.
OpTic, though, if to assume, well, we didn't get to execute off the playbook, so let's try again.
Yeah.
Right through green and do it much quicker this time. Flash is to support this play. FNS through different trademarks in the backside. Net try to sneak forward, catches a bit of timing, and rendezvous back safely. The snake bite also confirming the kill on FNS puts OpTic in a very bad spot.
Oh, too many cooks on the right side of yellow for that one. I think as they went in, the spike started going down, and nobody had even gotten to the backside of yellow, right? Everybody kind of had the idea to protect the spike instead of kind of two into it. So nice kills to start off in the back here. And that's like, oh, yeah, they're trying to plant around me. And they just start cleaning up OpTic as the site was littered with members of the guard. Setting up a nice garrison there. 8-6. It's all right. We've seen pistol rounds not matter to OpTic. What can they do here in a bonus? They are going to push 2 to be on light armor, but it is Spectres and that Marshall for Sayaplayer.
I'm curious, I think, just to see the tempo that the guard want to play on here defensively with this bonus, largely relying on Spectres. And it's going to be a teleport up top.
Big TP, yeah.
Yeah. Baited out with that OpTic. Very nervous. After hearing those sound cues, we'll start spamming up those walls and then get back to work.
They're like, this smoke, though, you always have to consider. Oh, Jonah. Just like the timing and the situations they're creating right now for themselves on the guard are so good. The one-way shift.
No bueno. Because the, well, you see the play happening on your minimap. Full flank coming. Puts a lot of tension on this hit from OpTic. You're going to have to get forward sooner rather than later. And there's really no vacancy here whatsoever. Marved will help open things up, but it's the headhunter for Net, and it's the headhunter! It's the headhunter for sure! A double for Net, followed up by Valyn, leaving Marved into 1v3. Doable, still very healthy. What is about to be pinched, and may have just heard a couple of footsteps from Valyn on the back. Self-snake bites, that's gonna isolate. Hold on a second, Marved potentially the 1v1. Gets the reload off. No spike in hand. Keep that in the back of our mind. 30 seconds to play. And Marved is coming across the ropes. Sees Valyn. Wallbang. Able to find at least a little bit of damage. Valyn has kept his high ground position. That will eventually win him the final 1v1. Bonus good for the guard.
I respect the try. But after all that, a jumping Vandal try. I think he was trying to get a hold of the rope. What is this, Net? Oh my word, the ADS in 2 quick shots, and you said, Shift, I wonder what that pace of the guard is going to be now. Well, that pace is to still push, to still get space, to still have the information, even if players are going down, they are keeping their time, and it seems like that timing is really on point for the guard. That paranoia was just about ready, the one-way going up, the catch one, they had a great read on that round on OpTic.
Well, here we go. OpTic in the first map were incredible in rounds that looked like this. However, the guard is very different on IceBox. When they hold an eco advantage, they rarely lose them. 77% win rate when they hold the weapon advantage, and that's currently what we're seeing. First blood tallied, Marv down. Big numbers for the guard.
Big numbers for Valyn, too. I mean, his stats book is getting padded throughout this tournament. Shots coming in from Victor, and the Guardian strikes true, but Net will trade one back.
Yeah, great information here. Shock Dart trying to delay, but wait a second. Sayaplayer caught. That actually opens the door for OpTic to get a plant. And also with that, you can get a weapon. Victor's going to have the operator. Post-plant setup is going to be over towards green. And even though this trademark is inactive, FNS is here waiting for this playthrough. If he hits the shot, it could be great, and he got an opportunity, but Net punishes 3v2 as the guards start to work forward.
Damage is there. Crashies has some shock darts. They could help. Fragment out. Operator going to work possibly for Victor, but they're getting pinched from every angle. Oh, this line of vision.
So many smokes through, but wait a second. They're actually going to get through the dark cover. The no scope for Victor. Crashies on the back, able to tally another. 1v1. Jonah, low on health, low on time. Shock dart misses. Second one, though, connects. And OpTic, again, just Ender said it. Just don't even load in with weapons. Just play with these little half buys the rest of the way through, why don't you?
Oh my word. Honestly, and you were saying this percentage the guard has is so good. OpTic's like, what about percentages? What about these? Take your guns. Oh my gosh. And they just making magic happen. Absolute magic with these. We talked about crashies, he's low, but had those shock darts when they were hanging out by yellow. Shift. It's actually pretty incredible what they can do on those rounds with low buys.
It's hard to put rounds like that to words. I think for anybody, it's just like they can't. There's no way you get through this. It's not even it's like, oh, they did it once, like cool, like some things happened for you that was good, you took advantages, you know, blah blah blah. It's every round they're in positions like this they win right now. I don't even know.
All right, guard, take a moment to pause. No pushing the extremities on this one, but kitchen is just swarmed right now. Trent not seeing too much as he just gets a few jiggles on to avoid a quick Ferrari peak headshot. And they want to get everything right now. Audio would be even great, and OpTic's just walking around.
Oh, thought for a second Net was going to be able to take some shoelaces off of OpTic offenders over through kitchen, but now you have to retake this position. That's the problem. There's a Viper's Pit still waiting, so OpTic will call that in. And how do you break this if you're the guard? You still have members around the outside setting up a bit of a perimeter on this site, and as Victor takes down two, now the guard all of a sudden have to force their way forward with essentially 2 ops. And okay, wait a second, that might be good enough. 3 kills come through quickly, make it to 4th, Net for 3, but crashes is in an off-angle position. Finds the first, no problem. Recon bolt still being held to make sure that there is nobody on towards the defuse, but it doesn't fully reveal. Trent's going to get this stuck, but it's not going to make a difference. The timing good for crashies. The Red Bull clutch coming through in the 1v2.
That round got messy. I love what OpTic did, and both teams had really, really cool ideas of what to do there. So we get into this round, and you see Victor get himself into position. They go up top, and they get the Viper's Pit down into that upper kitchen area. And that says, all right, cool. Now they have to play us at long angles, right? Well, that goes down. Net's already taken people out with a tour de force since he's like, all right, long angles, I'm down for that. So everything was kind of being countered towards the end there. What a round to see from both teams try to circumvent the strategies.
Nowhere to run.
Early Viper's Pit defensively. Hunter's Fury getting called to clear out tube. But it's JonahP to find the first kill. Null Command now starting to establish this push from OpTic, but are they really going to be able to find full clearance here? They're trying to isolate Valyn inside the site, and the problem is Trent just spams through the offensive toxic screen for a double. Valyn now very comfortable inside the green mist. And well, for the green wall, things just got very dangerous as it gets to a 2v4 as crashies is able to find one trade.
Oh, Trent's just thinking it feels good to be a Phantom user, baby. Oh my word. Can't ask for more from him this round, but he'll probably give it to you. OpTic trying to save what they can here and really just getting taken apart on what would have been the attack on guard's flank side. Spikes down in a very precarious position. Crashies and team will now do what they can. There's one from Trent. Another one, as we said. Expect it.
Recon bolt denied.
30 seconds left.
Not a lot of time. 30 seconds on the clock. Still need the spike. Obviously, you see the guard setting up essentially a fortress around this spike. Victor, if you want it, you got to come to us.
Yeah.
Playing off the cross-angle peaks. Victor for the first. Tries to predict the second and nearly gets a chance to maybe even play a little bit of an incredible transfer. But too many numbers. And the guard retake their advantage by 2.
The guard are playing such a solid defensive side right now. Never over-rotating. Their protection of each other and in util usage isn't enough to really give OpTic an idea of then how to take the site. Like, they're kind of just stopped up by a smoke here. You see these fired through. Like, oh, look, tracers.
Bless up,
my.
brother.
An OpTic call, a timeout, yeah.
This is a really interesting... I mean, look. One of the things I think we learned a lot about the guard on this map, most recently versus Cloud9, is defensively they're a problem. I mean, the overtime was defense for defense for what felt like an eternity. And a lot of it did come off of the viability from Trent in the first place. Like, he gets a chance to look at so many different setups just by way of his utility in the first place that it sets up Net and Sayaplayer for success. Those conditions are being met again here, Riv. So as far as consistency is concerned, the guard is proving it.
They are. And we talked about it a little bit during the break, is that it almost... I wouldn't say they're Cloud9, right? But that play style of having somebody on chamber, also having an attack point of somebody on jet, but then you still actually have a lot of firepower from the rest of your team. It's some reminiscent of that if you want to draw draw a comparison to something. And you can get it out of Net. You can get it out of Trent and Sayaplayer. You look at the last game, and a lot of these stand tall. Valyn's been stepping up as well, ridiculously with 2K, 3Ks. So as they come online, it seems to be a little bit late in the series towards second half of the map. And now they almost seem unstoppable because then they have the read. And it's like OpTic's trying to play guards game now.
I was just about to say there are so many members for OpTic that are close to ults. He was looking to deny the ult and ended up finding himself looking down the long line of a firing squad. So it's a 1-for-1 that actually allows an opportunity for OpTic to get the tour de force online, and now they've got kill potential to maybe once again do what's been done throughout the first 2 maps, secure Thrifty.
And we talked a bit about what the guard's doing. What is OpTic do? If Ye can start going off, that kind of invigorates everybody, and you know his peaks are going to be worth and good for something. Here they start going towards A, B, one down on each side. And so far, power and numbers to OpTic here if they do choose to press forward a bit and scale the site.
There's no dash for Sayaplayer getting tagged by the Aldrone, so he's stuck in this backside of Snowman. Needs some help. Valyn playing the high ground preemptively. Tries to deny, and he steps forward, and Ned is not here. So numbers good for OpTic. Trademarks on their backside will keep them safe from any flanks. Saya, do you peek this? Maybe they will now after the Hunter's Fury comes through, and it will tally up the kill on the A. That's a lot of the kill potential off the table. But OpTic still surviving with 3 members, got the plant that they wanted, and now it's down to, can you find a way to hold this against the retake of the guard, which all of it is coming from the front or through mid-tube. Slow orb is placed. That'll actually deny a number of members from getting on quickly. Valyn tries to get forward. Shock darts come through, and, well, sidesteps finesse. And that will be the end of any post-plant holds for OpTic.
Just squatting together. Right through the smokes. If one peeks out, you see 2 or 3 more coming out of the woodwork. And the guard are making a case for themselves here on IceBox and to get a map back in their favor. It's a good cushion for Breeze because we expect OpTic, we expect EA to go off, the team to have great control and drilling around the map. So guard here. Definitely, we've seen them play under the pressure, backs against the walls from behind. So those questions are answered. It's, you know, it's how much can they push here when they're up against those tier 1 teams? Because that was a question right before C9 is, are they going to be able to beat that level of echelon? And it's starting to come to fruition for them.
Especially with just how coordinated teams like Cloud9, Version 1, I think were most credited for playing off of their utility. The same can be said about a team like OpTic. So yeah, I think when you talk about the adjustments, adaptations from the guard, they've proven themselves absolutely worthy. Aldrone once again for OpTic, pushing forward, and this is problems as the knife will also Sayaplayer denied an exit, and Ye tallies the first blood.
Who else? Who else shift, right? Coming out such a quick shot, and everybody's behind him. That confidence is there. The team pushes forward, and he is flanked by 2 people around yellow. This is like a cavalry.
Yeah. Such a quick push through. Now you've got a lot of problems for the guard here. Although, a pretty solid effort as Valyn takes down 1 around the site, putting a lot of tension into Ye. Needed to hit shots, but of course he's good for it, and that's big. Marv keeping the flank safe. An important elimination forward. As now we go to a 2v2, but this post-plant setup for victory. They know he's back here, they may, but it's only a 1-for-1 trade. Marv now has to come back quickly. Still has 2 snake bites to play with, but not in a great spot to use them to actually execute.
He knows, does he?
Well, he's gambling. I was about to say that Valyn is not holding on, and he gets rewarded for that decision. The 1v1 comes to him, and OpTic win a crucial 9th round.
So tense. The comms there. Anyone? Unknown. All right, I'm not holding. There's no way. The hold might have got him that. That's not a wrong or right. Just an interesting part of being the observers. And oh my word, what a round, or I should say end rounds we're getting here to this map. OpTic trying to push back a little bit harder here. They're still low on a buy, but they're going to push themselves into that purchase. Sayaplayer on the Blade Storm. And all the stops are coming out here to grab this second map of the series. It definitely means a lot.
We've seen Sayaplayer in the past get enabled to go aggressively forward when he's got knives. And they're trying to set up the move. Net gets revealed. He's rendezvoused back, though. There's no problem. JonahP kind of takes his position and just barely avoids being seen by the Aldrone. on a second pass. So as Ye takes the angle away, the dueling toxic screens dissect the B site, and we still wait for Sayaplayer to make a move. He will be denied by these trademarks, though.
Maybe Marved? Maybe Marv steps across his trap? Oh my gosh. The patience in it. I mean, what is Marv's long rotation, right? Does he actually go through the site and then come around? And it looks like a B-side hit for Now Shift.
Well, smoke comes out. Sayaplayer on the flank. We'll see. OpTic will get the plant off. Marved is still not a part of this formula whatsoever. He's actually pushing long through A.
Yeah.
So it's flank on flank action. Sayaplayer getting revealed by the 0 point, though, is problematic as far as the guard relying on this for their retake. And no one has any idea that Marv's not here, by the way. So now it's advantage back to OpTic. Maybe. Although Sayaplayer actually eludes one, so he gets the angle. Trent able to kind of put some pinch pressure on, and it forces Ye to have to make a play. Rendezvous back. Sayaplayer, though, for the double. Trent off the defuse, and Marv's flank gets denied. Chaos all across, but it's Sayaplayer that has the last word everywhere.
Under the knowledge of OpTic, Sayaplayer still is able to find a quad? He smokes two per observers. I love you so much. He does the same thing to the one as he enters this area in that B main, but the 0 point sees him, so he still has to make a play. And does he? Absolutely ridiculous movement from Sayaplayer, the patience, the pushing, the util use. Oh, one of the hottest jets we're seeing this year, and the guard are reaping the benefits.
12-9 map point. OpTic in a fragile economic position. Trent undercover. The Viper's Pit is also able to get himself one orb away from Hunter's Fury if he could stay alive. Just barely eludes it. Victor on the ropes. Scouted. Denied. And how about it? The guard clean here in round 22. Leaving it to Marved and crashies to figure out how do you work this 2v5.
Whew. They are going quick. I'm still reeling from last round, honestly. Shift. I need to fast forward my brain here. A little lag brain. Okay, we're good. 1 minute left on this, and yeah, no real push this time. Guard kind of take a little backseat to this round after they get a few good frags forward to that long and A. And it's just not going to be OpTic being able to penetrate the defenses here towards the last few rounds. Guard look to be able, with one last one, seal the deal for map 2.
Oh, Marved uses the Viper's Pit to elude it. Oh my goodness, he nearly got full isolation, but Sayaplayer was quickly on the return. The guard do what's needed to be done. Take their map selection of